Good morning and welcome into this morning's Facebook Live. My name is Helen Jennings. I am coming to you from the UK and it's lovely to be with you. As I was getting ready this morning, I was thinking how on Thursday evening we started off and it was quite light, and over the course of the Facebook Live it very soon fell away to darkness. I think this Monday mornings we're doing the opposite. It's still a little bit grey and not quite got to full morning out there yet, but hopefully during the course of the live morning will be well and truly here by the time we've finished. So welcome in wherever you are in the world, whatever the time it is in the world for you. I'm going to put out a bit of a disclaimer. I am coming to you on the back of a very busy weekend. Had a fabulous day on Saturday. I had my all-day craft retreat, but that's a very long day. We are there for the ladies from 9:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night, which means we are there even longer, and by the time we've packed the car before we leave and unpack the car when we get back, it is a very long day. Had other things that I had to do yesterday as well, so still sort of finishing unpacking and putting my craft room back together. So I think I've managed, morning div, I think I've managed to find all the things I need for this morning, but it may be I am feeling incredibly tired today. It's often the way, isn't it, 48 hours later, morning Wendy, that you feel the effects. So apologies if the words in my head don't quite make it to my mouth, or whatever happens, it's going to be one of those interesting mornings. But I've got a glass of water and a cup of tea to see me through this morning. So hopefully we will do all okay. And hi Wendy, we've got a lovely suite of things to play with this morning. So hopefully that will get us going as well, because we'll be excited by those. And we're going to play this morning and this week with the Let It Snow suite. And this is just so sweet. It's a very sweet. It is gorgeous. It is lots and lots of snowmen and fun little elements that we can add together and play. Now it's a really big suite. If you go for the whole suite, and there is a bit of a disclaimer in that as well that I'll come to in a minute. If you go for the whole kit and caboodle, it is a huge suite, and I'll just show you what's in it. So to start with, you get the Snowman season stamp set, and that's, I'm trying to stop the glare from the light picking up on that stamp set, but really lovely. You've got this sort of nice big, these jolly snowmen, this little one juggling his snowballs down there, and this little snowman here in his hat and scarf. This one fits a punch. There's a coordinating punch that I'll pick out in a minute. So this little guy will actually fit into the punch, as will his arms and his hat. Got these really nice snowflakes just here. Some lovely font on these greetings. Let it snow, Merry Christmas. Hoping this season builds heartwarming memories. Isn't it gorgeous? So obviously you could have your snowman with the hat on and arms. You could have, bits of snowmen. I've seen bits where people have cut these up and had the snowmen sort of in parts on the floor. All sorts of things. So yeah, really sweet, really gorgeous little stamp set. And as I say, with that is a coordinating punch. Here he is. So you can see, if I can get it so that the light's not glaring on it, you've got the snowman, you've got the hat, you've got a little carrot nose, and you've got two sticky arms. So that is the Snowman Builder Punch. There is another stamp set and a die set that's in this bundle as well. And the stamp set is the mini Curvy keepsake boxes. Now, if you remember our really incredibly popular Curvy keepsake box that we had a couple of years ago that made a fairly biggish little Curvy keepsake box, this is a smaller version, and it just fits beautifully onto a piece of 6x6 card and makes up a really sweet little box. And you've got some embellishments there, so you've got some tags, a variety of tags you can use with it, and these sort of leafy ferny dies in there as well. And you've got this stamp set, so you can use this sort of mini buffalo check or this mini stripe to stamp onto your boxes. And you've got some little things to put in your labels there as well, and that nice little snowflake element that you've got a die to cut it out there. So that's a really nice, and we are hopefully, if we are really quick on the ball today, I'm hopefully going to make up a little keepsake box. I don't think it will take very long really. So that's Snowman and Punch, Curvy keepsake, box die, and the stamp set that goes with that. We then also have an embossing folder in this little bundle, and it is the winter knit embossing folder. So you've got this sort of knitted snowflakey jumper effect, and it's one of our 3D embossing folders, so the slightly thicker embossing folders. So we've got that. We are going to be playing with that in a minute. The papers are just stunning. Now I haven't got whole sheets of all of these, but I've got nearly whole sheets. So this one is mittens on one side and that stripe on the other. This one is these gorgeous snowmen, and can you, yes, I think you can pick that up, can't you? They're glittered. Look at those glittered snowmen. And as you can see, some of those have been cut out. We've had those for projects on Saturday. So those are the big glittery snowmen. They're sort of nice fat snowmen, aren't they? Dancing around, gorgeous. And on the other side of that is this lovely red stripe. It's lovely. Now this one isn't glittered. This is just lots and lots of little snowmen on one side, and like this coastal cabana snowy scene on the other. Really useful. I'm really loving this one. It's glittery, so there is glitter on this one as well. On those trees, there you go, you can pick that up there. So you've got glittery trees, but I love the colourway of this pink with this green. I think that's really unusual. And on the back there you've got a different stripe again. These are hats, lots and lots of hats, and there's glitter on those as well. Yeah, can you pick that up sort of on this piece just here? Glittery hats with a nice snowflakey pattern on the back. And then we've got some more snowmen, and obviously these are really lovely. You can cut these snowmen out and use them as little individual characters. They cut out quite nicely, and then you've got this red spot on the back there. So really nice paper. And also in this bundle is some red glimmer, real red glimmer paper, which is gorgeous, fabulous for holly berries. So I've used that on a few different projects elsewhere, not even using it with this suite, but to make holly berries. There is this real red curly ribbon, and it is just beautiful. It's really soft. It's almost like a wool type effect. So really reminiscent of those sort of, so it goes really well with that idea of your knitted embossing folders. It is really beautifully soft and curly, and you get these sort of fibrous ends that you can tease out that do look like scarves. Look at that, fabulous. And it does feel really lovely. The other thing that's in the catalogue just here is Morning Karina, is some Snowfall puff paint. Now that is the disclaimer for this bundle. We were incredibly disappointed, all us European demonstrators, because this puff paint got caught up in customs. We've been having some problems getting some of the things through European customs into Europe from being, you know, imported in from America, and this is one of the things that got caught in customs, and despite lots of efforts to give them all the information they want, that it is proving with one or two items to being very difficult to get things through customs. So they've now had to make the decision. Excellent. Morning, Freddie. Lovely to have you both with us on this half-term morning. Yes, but puff paint, because they cannot get it through customs into Europe to distribute out to us. They have now said that by the time that they did get customs to agree to it, and then they'd have to relabel it all in the States before they sent it over, and blah blah blah, it wouldn't get to us in time for the life of this catalogue. So unfortunately for us European demonstrators and European customers, they've had to pull the puff paint. If you're lucky enough to be living in Australia or the US, I'm sure you can still get the puff paint as long as it's not on back order or anything, because it has been very popular. But here in the UK and in the rest of Europe, we're not able to get the puff paint, and we're not going to be able to get the puff paint. So unfortunately that has gone. Morning, Chrissy. So no puff paint for us here in Europe. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a really lovely play with the entire suite. But what that does mean is, whereas with lots of other suites, we can just use this one number at the top of the catalogue to order the entire collection, we're not able to do that because we're not able to get the puff paint, so we're not able to have the entire collection. But that's the sad news. But there's lots and lots of beautiful things, and we have one other thing in this suite to look at. And that is the Let It Snow embellishment kit. This is adorable. So we have lots and lots of sticky on little elements. So we've got these little twiggy arms. We've got little carrot noses and little coal pieces. And these are sort of like a shiny raised 3D. They're really beautiful. So those are the little sticky on bits for your snowman in this lovely little embellishment box. Then you get these little foam and felt elements, and you've got hats and you've got scarves, and we're going to be using some of these, and you've got little mittens. So you've got like all these little felt embellishments, hats, scarves and mittens that you can add to your snowman, and you've got those in the pink, in the green, in the coastal cabana and in the red. So they are fabulous to keep your snowmen snuggly. You have little snowballs. Look at these, aren't they cute? Running around in their little bags, so you can add some 3D snowballs to your project. And then you've got some glittery washi tape that is also equally stunning. So that little embellishment kit is great fun, and we are going to be using that in just a minute. So let's pop those back in the box for now, so we know where to find them all when we want them. I'm going to hang on to that for a minute and hang on to that for a minute. I've got all my other bits in my basket to the side of me. I'm just going to move that over. Have another slurp of tea. Then let's have a look. Now there are lots and lots of samples for this suite, because if you look on the front of your catalogue, there's quite a few on there. On the front of the catalogue, there's those little bags, some cards, some boxes, all sitting there, some more of those little curvy keepsake boxes. So there's lots on the front of your catalogue. There's obviously in the index, the bundle index inside, there's some more. There's a snowman card and some more of those little boxes. They're really sweet, those little boxes. And then of course when we turn to the page itself, we've got a whole load more samples. So we had lots of samples to choose from this morning in terms of what we were going to do to recreate one of the cards from the catalogue. So we're actually going to do one from the front page. So we're going to have a little go at this guy just here. There he is, with his little hat and scarf and mittens on. I thought he was very sweet. And as I say, we might have a go, if we have time, to do a bonus project. So let's have a little look. Let me grab my trimmer. So I have now got my new trimmer. These are not yet available to customers, but they are available to demonstrators and to anybody that would like to start up, have a starter kit. So if you are thinking that you would like to get lots of lovely things, if you have a wish list that is sort of £99 or more, your starter kit is £99, and with your £99 you get to choose £130 worth of product of your choice. And the other thing that you can get at the moment, and I'll show you more of this later in the week, this Christmas Rose suite is coming out. There's dies, there's stamps, there's some beautiful papers as well somewhere. I haven't got those to hand, but that is coming out to customers on the 1st of November. You can also get that now. You can add that into a starter kit. So if you wanted to, so £99, you choose £130 of your choice, and in those starter kits you can also choose to have one of the new trimmers, and you can choose to have the Christmas Time Is Here suite if you so wish. So that's two things that you can get now, not have to wait for if you decide to have a starter kit. And if that's something that you're thinking, oh, that sounds interesting, I need to know more about that, then do pop me a message. Do check out my website, www.loveaduckie.co.uk, where you'll find a page on there that is all about joining my team, and what you do have to do and what you don't have to do. There's far more that you don't have to do than what you do have to do. There's not very many regulations, but do talk to me and check that out. And always bear in mind that if you do sign up, that does not mean that you need to run classes and do all those sorts of things. You can do it just simply to get the discount for yourself, because on any subsequent orders after you've bought your starter kit, you will get at least 20% discount, rising to more as you progress. So that's a little bit about how you can get your hands on a trimmer right now if you can't wait. As I say, we've not yet had a date announced for when the trimmer is going to be available to customers, but for now, lots and lots of demonstrators are playing with them. You may have seen lots of videos and things about them. I'm loving mine. So let's use it to cut this piece of A4 cardstock in half, just like that. And then, just like the other trimmer, it's got the two blades on it, so we can both trim, we can both cut and score. So I'm going to rest that card at 10.5 centimetres. I do like the way it clicks down into place, so that sort of arm clicks down so it doesn't move anywhere, and then we're going to score. And it is a nice deep scoring blade on it, so you get a nice score mark. Rest that up against the top, fold that in half. So we have a shaded spruce card base, a C6 shaded spruce card base, and then we're going to take some of the paper that has all the mittens on it. Where are you, mitten paper? And we're going to cut a piece of paper to fit the front of that card, and I think we're going to go I think we're going to go 9.5 centimetres wide, and I'm going to cut a strip off that way by 13.9 long. So I'm actually taking it, rather than half a centimetre shorter on each side, I've actually taken it a whole centimetre shorter on each side, like that. So there's our lovely mitteny paper. So this isn't a glittery one, this is just a plain pattern with these stripes on the back, but we're going to have that way. While I'm cutting paper, I do also need a little bit of the stripy paper. Let me just line that up in there and cut that bit off, I think. So the stripy paper is the back of these lovely little snowmen just here, but we won't mourn what we're missing on the back. Well, we might a little bit. How wide is that? Let us cut a piece that is I'm going to go 9 centimetres, I think, and we'll have it so that it's, we'll go 3 centimetres wide. If we need to trim that down a bit in a minute, we will do. So there we are, we have some stripy paper. We might well need to trim that down. The other nice thing about this trimmer is that you've got even bigger gap on this side. So whereas I've taken it over to this side to measure my 3 centimetres, you've got a far bigger that goes up to about 1.5 inches that way. So you can measure it on that side or on that side. And the measurements do go much further up into the grooves into that groove there, and they go. You've got little marks just here that take you up to the fold, and this bit folds out. So really good in terms of being able to get accurate measurements in those sort of awkward little places. So like where the arm comes out and just here, and sometimes it's quite difficult to get those really accurate measurements close to those sections, but it's really good. I am loving my trimmer. Right, I think that's our trimming for now. We're going to need to come back possibly and do some more little paper bits in a minute, but we have our card base. We have our card base, we have our papers that we've cut to go on the top. Now, one other thing I need to do is I do need to cut some of this. Now I'm going to cut this here at 6 inches because we're going to need that in a little while. But then this piece that's left over, we need to cut a stitched circle out of it, and we're also going to need a piece to stamp our snowman with. So let's just cut that there, so that gives us enough to cut our circle out with. So let's have a change of machinery. I'm just looking round. What have I done with my big shot? I was very busy getting it all ready to use, and I've abandoned it. Let me grab it. This one. Okay, let's bring in our big shot. So obviously it doesn't matter what die cutting machine you have, these all still work. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut ourselves a stitched circle. Pull that through. Yes, a lovely stitched circle. And then before we put our big shot away, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out that thin die adapter. I'm going to bring in our 3D embossing folder. I'm going to pop our stitched circle in our 3D embossing folder. Now, what sort of a pattern would I like? I think I'm going to have it so we've got one of those big sort of snowflakes to one side. I'm going to pop that on my base plate, and then I'm going to take my new blue plate. So I've just got the base plate, my embossing folder and my new blue embossing plate. Run that through, and that is the perfect sandwich for our 3D embossing folders. And there we are. Can you see that? We have a beautifully knitted circle of stitched card. Beautiful. Let's just put our embossing folder out of the way. Rebuild our big shot before popping that away. So that's our papers. We have a stitched circle. So now we need a snowman to go on it. So I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to punch. Now I don't actually need a hat, so I'm not worried if the hat section doesn't get onto that bit of card. I think actually that's all on there, but let's punch that out. So with one punch we have got a snowman, a hat, 2 twiggy arms and a carrot nose. So let's pop those in this little tray so we don't lose them. 2 arms, come here little nose. I don't think we need the nose actually. So we're going to put that just there, and then I'm going to bring up my stamper artist because with all of these builder punchers it quite often is easier to stamp them on your Stamparatus. Let's get a mat because they are photopolymer stamps, so we need our foam mat in there. And I've got here a piece of card. Now this is irrelevant what colour it is, it happens to be a piece of Night of Navy card, and I'm going to punch out those shapes again. Now I don't know that I necessarily need those. I'm not sure whether there's a great call for blue noses and blue snowmen. Who knows? I'll just sit them in there just in case we do want them at any point. But what I did want is a template. So that's what I now have, is a template for my Stamparatus. And I shall obviously hang on to that template. I don't need to do that every time. I just need to do it for the first time. So let's put our mats down and then let's get some magnets. Trying to ensure they don't come together, because if they do, they snap together, and if your fingers happen to be in the middle of that, it hurts. Right, so let's anchor down our snowman template, and let's find our little stamps. So what do we need? We're going to need the snowman himself, which we're going to fit into that hole just there. Make sure he's nice and central. And we're also going to do the little arms. They're quite fiddly, aren't they? But we're going to fit those into our holes just here as well. Excuse me if my head gets in the way. Actually, what I might do is pick that snowman up. So let's get the snowman, let's pick him up, and then he's out of the way, and then we can fiddle with arms. Obviously, if you're multi-stamping these, this is really useful, because once you've got it set up, you can just keep punching and stamping. Ooh, are you going to fit in there, or are you going to overlap? Right, we'll see if that works. They are overlapping slightly. Right, let's get our little snowman then. We're going to start with our snowman. We'll fit him in there. And because we are going to be using some stamping blends to colour in with, I'm going to ink it up and then I can wipe it. So let's ink up our snowman. This is always better done by lying it flat on a stamp set or something to one side, but we're working in a little bit of there he is. There's our little snowman stamped. Let's give these a clean, because we may well have got some black ink on our little hands, and we don't want black ink, we want some soft suede ink. Morning, Sally. There we are, 2 little arms. Let's get some soft suede ink, and again let's tap 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 and ink up those little arms. Because I'm not doing it flat, I've managed to get ink on the side. We'll just get rid of that, and let's stamp up our little arms. 1 and 2. So we have a snowman and 2 little twiggy arms. Let's just set him aside for now, and we'll sort that out later. So now I'm going to bring in a light pumpkin pie blend, and we will just give his carrot nose a little bit of colour just there. And then the other pen that I've got here is a light smoky slate, and what I'm going to do with my light smoky slate is I'm just going to literally take that round the edge, and what that helps to do is it just helps him to pop a little bit off the page, to pop out from the white background. Just adds that sort of element of shading round the outside there. So you don't want much, just want a little bit, just to help him pop when he's stuck on the front of your card. So let's have a look. Let's get our snail out. So we have our piece of nice mitteny paper. And we're going to put that at a little bit of an angle, just because we can. Then we're going to take our embossed stitched circle, and we're going to add him to the front just there, and then we'll put on a little snowman. Just there, and then let's move that out the way. We need our two little twiggy arbs, 1, 2, and we'll have one up here as if he's waving. One coming out this way a bit. Actually looks like he's bringing an aeroplane into land, doesn't he? Right, now we're going to go for our little elements just here. There we are, a little red hat, a green scarf, and a pair of mittens. Actually, I think we got that one that way, and that one that way. Great stuff. Now I need some glue dots. Let me just grab some of those. As I say, I'm still putting things back where they were, so not everything is in the place it's supposed to be, or it normally is, because some things are still not 100% unpacked. Glue dots was one of those. So here we are. Let's have some little glue dots. I think they're going to be best for sticking on these little furry elements. Are you going to stick a little glue dot? There's his hat. One mitten. Oh, didn't get that glue dot. No wonder that's not stuck. It's not got a glue dot on it. Let's put the glue dot on the hand and stick the felt onto it. There's another one, and last but not least, we want, let's stick a couple of little glue dots around his neck. Ready to put his scarf in place. There we are. He's now all well and truly snugly wrapped up. So we just need now to stamp a greeting. Let's find our stamp set, and I think we want the one that says hoping this season builds heartwarming memories. There we go. Not sure what you think of that one, Sally. That might be a little bit twee, but it's quite sweet. It's not too sickly sweet. It's funny how you sort of people have such different thoughts. People have their particular colours that they love. Some people like sort of long sentiments. Other people just like them short and snappy. And actually, the world would be a horrible place if we were all the same. And it's really lovely that there is that sort of the choice. So in this stamp set, you've got the choice of the short and snappy, but you've also got that slightly longer sentiment, if those are the sort that you like. There we go. Let's trim that round. We have that. We have our piece of stripy paper that we might now want to trim down a little bit more. Yeah, I think we will. We were guesstimating how long we were going to want it. I think how wide we were going to want it. I think I probably over guesstimated by about 1 centimetre, so I've cut that down to 2 centimetres now. That's a bit better. And then the other thing we're going to add into that is a little bit of our lovely curly ribbon. So we'll just have a little bit of that stuck behind here. Let's just anchor it down with a bit of tear and tape. What happens on the back of the sentiment stays on the back of the sentiment. Nobody's any the wiser what it looks like back there. Trim that little bit off just there. And we'll trim that little bit off just there. Stick down our stripy paper, and then I think we're going to want to put some dimensionals on the back of here, and we sneak one in just there, and we'll put one in just there and pop one up there. I think that one might need to come down slightly. There we go. And hopefully that will give us enough height then for that lovely curly furry ribbon to sit behind. Let's stick that down just there. Isn't he cute? Actually, I am thinking, am I going to get away with raising that? Morning, Carol. Yes, we are going to get away with raising that just slightly. There. So there we have a little snowman on his knitted embossed stitched background with his little felt elements, his hat and his scarf and his mittens, furry little ribbon in there, just lots of texture in there and lots of feely elements. So he is really cute. But I did promise that we were going to try and go for a second quick project. So let's just show you this little curvy keepsake box. So I cut this piece of card so that it was 6 centimeters wide. So that will very easily now fit onto that piece of card, just like that. So let's move that to one side. Let's bring back up our big shot. Let's put our curvy keepsake die in there, our little mini one. I still have my big curvy keepsake die. That is one of the dies. There are some things that you have that just, you know, are never going to go. That's one of them. It is such a lovely die. And of course, with the original big curvy keepsake die, it came in 2 parts, and you then had to stick the 2 halves of the box together. With this one, you literally, I have just die cut that. You've got your score lines along here. I'm just going to fold like this. I'm going to take my foam folder and I'm just going to give those edges a bit of a curve. Actually, that one I'm not going to curve just yet because I am going to stick a face on there. Now let's go back to our little box of elements, and we are simply going to take two pieces of coal for his eyes. 1, 2. I'm going to take a carrot nose. It's not well and truly stuck, so you might want to bring that across this way a little bit, and then we're going to take some little pieces of coal to give him a smiley face. And we'll give that a little bit of a curl as well. I'm going to bring this up. These bits have got another score line on the back that you can fold back this way. So bring these 2 bits together. Tuck that one over there. Tuck that one over there. Give them a bit of a squidge. And then we'll simply take some of our curly red ribbon, tie a bow, take a glue dot, stick our little bow in there. So there we go. So this morning we have managed, if I can find my catalogue, to case 2. Oh, I've put my Stamparatus on it. So we have our little Curvy keepsake box just there. Here he is. And then from the front cover we have our little card. And there he is. So, not just one project, but 2 to show off all of the elements in that suite. So you've got your lovely little felt elements and your sticky on pieces, your little twiggy arms, noses and coal pieces, and also you've got your little snowballs in there and your little glittery washi tape. So that's that little embellishment kit, and of course that all comes in that really sweet little box that once you've finished and you've used up all your bits in there, you can use that as a gift box to give a gift at Christmas. You could create lots of little cards to go in it. Yes, that would just about fit in there, I think. You could make up a whole little set of cards to go in that box to give to somebody as a present. So you've got your little elements, you've got your Curvy keepsake die with all its little tags that go with it, and then the stamp set that you can use alongside that to decorate boxes and things. Then you've obviously got your snowman stamp set with all that little cute elements and those really sweet little snowmen on there, and you've got your snowman punch that goes with that, and then you've got your fabulous papers with their glittery snowmen and hats and those lovely trees. So all those really lovely papers that are on there, and alongside that as well you also get some red glimmer card. So it is a fabulous suite, and you can make things for the children, you can make things for the grown-ups in your life, but really lovely, and just lovely winter cards as well. Hi Glenda doesn't just have to be for Christmas. The snowman is not just for Christmas. In fact, here in the UK it's very rare that we get snow at Christmas. Far more likely to get snow sort of late January, February time. So you don't necessarily have to pack your snowmen away the minute that the Christmas tree comes down. They can be around for a lot longer than that. So I hope you've enjoyed us recreating these 2 little projects this morning from your catalogue, to give you inspiration and to send you off to look to see what's in there that can inspire you. And if you are here in the UK, if you haven't got a catalogue, do get in touch and I will more than happily send you one. Or if you would like to order any of these products, then please either pop on to my website. I'll put links up when I edit this video in a minute to the shop. And do go and visit at www.Love-a-Duckie.co.uk, and then also do come back on Thursday when we will be playing some more. So now I think it must be time for breakfast. So thank you for joining me, and do share these videos out. Do let other people know that we're here on a Monday morning and a Thursday evening, or the equivalent time wherever you are in the world, and it's lovely to have you join us. So thank you, and I will see you later in the week.